Hi. Once upon a time, there was a society who became afraid of books. Yes, books. Can you believe that? Those paperback, hardback stories that we read and learn and grow. Well, I'm going to share a story with you about what happened when society became afraid of the big, bad books. So, back to my topic of who's afraid of the big band book. I think LeVar Burton sang on Reading Rainbow, Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. So take a look, it's in a book, a Reading Rainbow. Well, it goes something like that. Don't judge me on my singing. If you grew up in a few decades ago, in another era, you also might the term RIF, riff. Reading is fundamental. So, getting back to my story, these push to get reading at the forefront of our young readers' mind. But all of a sudden, we have people who's afraid of books. Let me get back to my story. The main characters are fear, misunderstanding, discomfort, and political agenda. Each of these characters are connected. They are almost family because so many other factors connect them, such as race, religion, sexual orientation, sexual identity, political biases, cultural heritage and pride, and many, many more. One day, fear entered society. Who wasn't invited? It just showed up. However, when books were written about factors that people were not familiar with, they invited fear into their homes, communities, schools, and even faith based institutions. They used fear a lot. They wouldn't mention fear verbatim, but their actions always alluded that fear was nearby and driving their conversations. Can you believe that fear also caused people to not want to have diversity in America anymore? Yeah, I couldn't either, but fear did, and is still doing a lot of damage. As people let fear grow, the distant cousin, misunderstanding, moved in to accompany fear. Misunderstanding was a little more vocal than fear. Misunderstanding became most involved in conversations on social media, in political party positions and debate, and even in school districts across the land, challenging what topics and books that could or could not be taught. Misunderstanding really has a lot of connection to another neighbor whose name is ignorance. But ignorance isn't in the story directly. However, you may see his influence pop up in the characters' fear and misunderstanding. Around election time, discomfort invited political agenda accompanied by ignorance. And the two together started to do a lot of damage. Why? Because political agenda used tools like stereotypes, misinformation, propaganda, and so many other things to spread the word. Political agenda loves social media, platforms like Twitter and Facebook, and it spread information fast into many people at one time. People who never read certain books decided that topics should be banned, And they really had no justification as to why. Even books like Harry Potter and The Wizard of Oz, classics, were banned. So, who's afraid of the big bad books? Or is it who's afraid of the big banned books? I think it's those who allow fear, prejudice, ignorance, racism, sexism, homophobia, homophobia, and other isms that tend to form stereotypes and opinions with no real understanding why. We see this clearly in the many novels we read in our class. Who's afraid of the big bad books? Could it be the government? That's another conversation in another video. But the reverse of not having diverse conversations can mean indoctrination into so many things. Sounds a bit hypocritical because it is. I think people fear change, and fear is very dangerous. So, who is afraid of the big, bad, banned book? Maybe it's those who fear the power of young minds thinking for themselves. Maybe it's those who confuse discomfort with danger, indifference with threat. But the truth is, books don't hurt people. Silence does. Erasure does. Denying stories, identities, and truths, that's what leaves the deepest scars in our society. Banning a book doesn't erase history. It does not erase someone's story. It only proves how much that story matters and needs to be told. So let's all raise our voices for the stories that challenge us, the ones that heal us, the ones that help us grow, even the ones that make us uncomfortable. And most importantly, let's try to understand all types of people. Let's stand up for the freedom to read, the right to be seen. This last statement is not my quote, it is by an unknown, because every time a banned book is opened, a light comes on, and hopefully the fear of the big banned book goes away. The end.